Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, guys? What is up, family? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's stream with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys. And man, I feel like I haven't left the computer all day because I've been on streams with you guys pretty much damn near the entire day, man. But big shout out to all y'all that's been following us the entire day. It's been a very, very interesting day in the markets for sure, guys. And that's what I wanted to come on here tonight and pretty much unpack everything that actually did happen today. Because it was a very, very interesting turn of events on how the market absolutely reacted. I mean, we're talking about whiplashes out the wazoo that we're kind of crazy, right? We're gonna go over all that for the most part, guys. I don't think that this call is gonna be too long because, like I said, I mean, you guys already heard enough of me today. You know, we had our New York session, and then we had our news event session, and now we're back here today, right? So nothing has really pretty much changed. I just want to reiterate what we've been talking about all day and just go over what my thoughts and opinions, guys, are moving forward based off the reactions that we actually did see, right? Because the thing about trading news, family, is that, again, we don't want to trade the exact news release, but we like to take the data that comes after the release, right? How is the market interpreting all this information, right? How is the market interpreting what Jerome Powell was actually going to say in the actual press conference, right? And man, was it a whiplash of an event, family, right? Absolute whiplash of an event that we actually experienced today. So we're definitely going to go over that for sure. And yeah, you know, just bring some more clarity for you guys overall. But if you guys can hear me loud and clear, family, go ahead and just drop your locations in the chat. Smash that like button. It definitely helps me out tremendously just by simply hitting that like button, guys. So if you guys can do that for me, I appreciate y'all. But definitely also go ahead and drop those locations. Right? See, we got Wisconsin in the building. We got Riverside, California. We got New Mexico, Nigeria, Melbourne, Australia. George, what's going on? Good to see you in the chat. We got Cali in the building, LA. We got Colombo, Sri Lanka. Caliphs in the building, Trinidad and Tobago. Right, we got Bishop's UK in the house. What is going on, family? Shout out to you guys, Nigeria. I see you guys stand up. I appreciate y'all. We got Vermont in the building. Kyle, good to see you. We got Alabama. Tina, what's up? Right, and yeah, like I said, guys, it's been a very interesting day and how the markets reacted overall. Right, so like I said, we're not going to be on here too long. Probably realistically, guys, maybe like a good 30-minute session, maybe an hour, because you guys know I just be rambling. Right, so maybe an hour tops. But like I said, we're not going to be on here for that long, right? I will be live again tomorrow morning with you guys. So, you know, I'll see you guys very shortly after that, right? But let's see. I see we got Fort Lauderdale in the building. What's going on? Shout out to you guys out there in Fort Lauderdale. I appreciate y'all. But let's actually go ahead and get into what actually happened today, you know, because we actually did get a bunch of major news events, guys. The main one I'm going to talk about is going to be obviously the Fed interest rate decision. The Fed actually did raise rates by 75 basis points, which, again, is something that we already knew for the most part was going to happen. So that's not a surprise at all. But let's look at how the market actually reacted to that, right? And I'm going to look at gold just because gold was like super, super volatile today. Like extremely volatile. It is volatile to a point where it kind of like broke my heart a little bit, right? Now, obviously, we don't get emotional over here, but we are human, you know, and this is more frustrating than anything, right? Because if you guys remember from last night's stream, right, yesterday's stream, you know, I was looking for this selling opportunity, guys, up here at these levels for gold, right? Stop was above this high right here, and then we were targeting back down to the lows. Right now, not just the lows, but we were actually targeting a little bit lower, right, like around this level down here. And I mean, look what the market did, right? look at what the market did, right? Like it literally, again, initially we seen this big spike up in the market, right? And then once Jerome Powell opened his mouth, it ended up causing another spike, but then an immediate sell-off. Now, unfortunately for me, family, I ended up getting stopped out on this trade, right? I was actually in this trade because I ended up sending a order up here at these levels. And, yeah, right? It definitely stopped me out, and it just completely tanked, right? But just look at how, like, look at the whiplash that we experienced today, though, right? Like, look at this thing, right? Look at what gold did, right? This thing went up. It flew 200 pips, right, off of news. It flew 200 pips off of news, only for when the press conference came, it dropped 300, right? So we're talking about over a 500 pip swing within just a few hours, guys, in the markets off of this news, right? So it was absolutely crazy today in the markets. Now, again, unfortunately for me, I was not able to participate in none of this because I ended up getting stopped out. In fact, I ended up going through a little short losing streak, guys, trying to take advantage of news today, right? I'll actually show you guys, right, because I'm being as transparent as possible. And as you guys can see, like, look at these last 4 trades, right? These last 4 trades, guys, absolutely did a number on me, right? I ended up taking 4 losses back to back to back today. One of those was unintentional, right? Because I just added another position by accident, which I deleted right away. But yeah, so technically we could just say 3 losses in a row, right? And yeah, it was literally just trying to play off of news. And I mean, if we look at my notes, like especially this last loss right here, right, which is probably one of my biggest losses that I've had so far this week. Yeah, it actually is the biggest loss that I had, right? I lost 0.66%, right? So under 1% loss. But look at my notes, right? I forced a buy thinking price will reverse at structure. That's literally what I did, right? Like, I'm not lying, right? Like, I seen, and this is me looking for a buy off of gold, right? Because this is me, obviously taking the sell loss, right? I had the sell order. I took the loss on that. But then I started looking at structure, right? And I wanted to see if structure was able to hold at these levels and possibly rebound back up. And, yeah, it did not work out in my favor, right? And that was literally me trying to force a trade, right? That's me trying to force an entry. Now, it wasn't an emotional decision because I did have some type of logic behind why I was looking at it, right? I really wanted to see this entire level pretty much get respected. We also did have some points of control in that area, so it wasn't something that was just random, right? It wasn't something that I just randomly took. No, it made a little bit of sense. But what I could have done is I should have probably not even tried to force it, right? Because I was sitting here looking, I'm like, man, I want to get in something, right? Let me. Right, and I know better, right? I know better, especially when I get into that point where I'm like, man, I want to do this, I want to do that. I know that I shouldn't have actually just participated, right? So again, it's just learning curves. But the whole moral of the story is, guys, and why I really don't care about the loss, I only lost 0.66%, right? So I still lost less than 1% on this trade, right? So if we even look at all these last 4 trades that I took, guys, that all ended up losses, combined, this is probably just over 2% loss. That's massive, right? That's a win, right? So although, yeah, we took 4 losses back to back to back to back, that's still a win because I followed my risk management rules, right? Being disciplined, guys, is a win, and we have to understand that because 99% of traders out there are not disciplined. So if you're one of those traders that can be disciplined and can remain disciplined, then that's a win. That is a win, and eventually the profits will eventually add up, right? So guys, we took some losses, overall. Like look how many reds we have here. We got a lot of red, very few green. But let's look at the totals. I'm still up 3% for the week. I'm still up almost $700 for the week. I'm still up 186 pips for the week. Right? Even with all these losses, we got 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss, 5 loss, 6 losses, 7 losses, 8 losses, right? We got a bunch of losses here. 8 losses, but only 3 wins. What, Abel? How is that possible? Risk to reward. Right? Look at how short the losses are, but look at the wins. Right here, 2% win, a 4% win, right? A 0.5% win. Right? Again, the wins are much larger than the losses because I understand the importance of risk to reward, right? Risk to reward is a phenomenal thing to understand, guys, right? So we're still positive for the week, right? Even with my last 4 trades technically being losses. That's the name of the game. How are you managing your account? How are you managing your trades? How are you managing your portfolio? Majority of traders do not know how to manage this stuff, which is why they're not here long term. Right? But when you understand exactly what you're looking for and you understand the name of the game is risk to reward, you're going to be fine even with these losses that you might have taken, right? So I definitely want just to clarify with you guys exactly what's been going on. And I'm going to be using this spreadsheet, guys, a lot more, especially with this specific account that I'm trading on, just so that I can be as transparent with you guys as possible to really teach you guys exactly what trading truly is. This is trading. Like, these losses are a part of trading, right? It's not always going to be straight green. Right, that's just not that's not real, right? That's not sustainable long term for you to win every single trade. There's going to be wins, there's going to be losses, but how you manage that trade is going to be the biggest deciding factor. Are you using proper risk to rewards? Are you managing your trades correctly? Like that's the big thing that I want you guys to truly understand. Like you guys are seeing this in real time. Right? 8 losses, 3 wins, but we still almost 4% profit for the week. That's a banging absolute game changer when you understand that, guys, right? So that's absolutely cool. Like I said, I'm gonna be transparent with you guys and allow you guys to continue to watch me use this spreadsheet for a few different reasons, right? So you guys can see how I do it, you know, how my trading results be looking, at least for the, you know, however long I do this. So you can also understand the importance of risk to reward. And so you guys can also get in the habit of start journaling your trades as well, right? Because one thing that I know as a teacher, right, not even as a trader, one thing that I know as a teacher is that the students are not gonna do what you tell them to do. They're gonna do what they see you doing, right? Because I've been telling you guys for the longest to use a trading journal, right? Document your trades, write all this stuff down. But I've never actually allowed you guys to see me do it, right? So me just saying it is one thing. None of you guys are probably going to listen, maybe a 1% of you guys. But if I actually show you guys me doing it and how powerful it is to document this stuff, see, now we're going to start to go ahead and change some paradigms, right? Now we're going to start to get a lot of you guys really focused on truly tracking your trades, and that's when your guys' real breakthrough is going to happen. I guarantee it. Like, I guarantee it, right? That's when the breakthrough is going to happen, when you guys start treating this stuff very seriously. Treating this as a business, guys, is very crucial. Right, so again, if I have to go ahead and be as transparent as possible, right, even though, again, now I'm adding a lot more public pressure to myself, because now you guys can literally take this document and literally just keep it on. I mean, you guys can literally see me. I mean, it's updated every trade I take. So if you have access to the link, you guys can literally see every single trade. So again, it is adding a lot more public pressure to me. But if that's what I got to do to make sure that you guys see exactly what you guys need to do yourselves, then yeah, we'll do that. You know, we'll do that 100%. All right, so it's going to be lit. Let's see. The copy of the trading journal you sent this morning was a view only. Yeah, you have to actually do this, right? Look at this right here at the top. Look at this right here, right? I'm actually going to change that color, right? I want that to stand out so you guys can really see it. Right? The yellow bar right here. Click file and make a copy to be able to edit the spreadsheet, right? So I'll go ahead and send this in the chat for you guys once again. Like I said, I really don't, I mean, I don't care. I want you guys to be able to see this stuff, right? So there it is in the chat, copy of the spreadsheet. Again, click file and make a copy so you guys can have your own version of it. Unfortunately, when you guys do see this one, guys, you guys will have all of my data on it. All right, so you're going to have to go ahead and once you make a copy of it, delete it all. All right, just highlight all these numbers right here on the side, click delete, and then you'll have a fresh, clean thing. And if you want to go ahead and change the colors as well, go up here to the fill color. Right, the little bucket looking thing, and then just go ahead and turn it white. All right, now you have a fresh, clean looking thing. Right, let me go ahead and get all my trades back though. All right, because I'm still using this. Right, but that's pretty much where we're at, guys. Right, just being transparent, showing you guys how trading really is. Right, it's not what most people portray to be on social media. You're not gonna win 100%. You're probably not gonna win 90. If you can win 80% of your trades, guys, consistently, you might as well go to Wall Street, show them your results, and they'll throw $1 billion at you for trading. Right. And that's just me being honest. If you can historically, right, for 12 to 24 months, show that you are literally a 70 to 80% accurate trader, guys, people are going to throw money at you. Like, it's no questions asked. They're going to throw money at you because that is a very impressive feat, right? To be 70% accurate is very, very, very impressive. And not that many people can actually do that, right? Probably maybe 0.5% of people can actually do that, right? So just keep that in perspective, guys, when you guys are trading, right? Because I know a lot of us might have that perfectionism in us, right? Well, we want to try to win every single trade, and I get it. I'm the same way. I don't take a trade with the intentions of losing. That's never the intentions, right? But I'm also not clueless to the fact that losses are probably going to happen, right? We are trading a market, guys, that is very, I'm not going to say very because it is predictable, but you know, there's so many different factors, guys, that influences this market that makes it hard for us that trade on margin, which is what we do, right? We trade on margin, right? Which means we use a stop loss, you know, we get leverage, we use all these different things, right? But because of that, our accuracy has to be pretty good. And because of all the factors that move this market, though the accuracy is not always going to be 100% sniper perfect. So we're going to take losses, okay? So very good. Like I said, we're still in profit around 3.4%. You know, we still have the rest of the week to go, so you never know. You know, I might be able to still get this, you know, much higher. I might even be able to lose it. Who knows, right? But either way, documenting at the end of the week on Sunday or Saturday when I actually do my weekly overview for myself, I'll come back this weekend and see exactly what happened. All right, I'll look at all my notes. I'll look at my after trade notes. I'll see my results, and then I'll be able to go ahead and adjust, guys, for the next following week. Right? So that's real trading here, right? That's how like this is real trading in real time, guys. So all right, but let's see what we got here in the chat. Let's see. Wifey starting to get jelly. I'm always plugging in with Abel. shout out to my Chicago squad, man. Shout out to you, Christian. I appreciate you, bro. Let's see. A death broke mine and my account, man. So bet you won't. I got a question, right? How did you blow your account, right? If you don't mind, you know, being transparent with everybody, right? Because what you're going through right now, obviously, is going to be a learning lesson for you, but it can also be a learning lesson for everybody that's in the family as well, right? So what really caused you to blow your account? I mean, was it just over leveraging, or was it you just compounding a bunch of trades at once? Like, what really was it, right? So, and the reason why I ask you this is because when you understand exactly what went right and what went wrong, you have that awareness of that. Now it's just all about having the discipline to change it and not do that again. All right. So, yeah. Let's see. Like I always say, news gives entries. I caught 110 pips on EU. Let's go, Joseph. I love that. Let's go. Let's see. I got stopped out of EU setup because of that manipulation candle when Powell opened his mouth. Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of things that Powell said today, guys, that the market did not like at all. Right, and that's literally why we ended up, because we ended up like seeing the market rebound, guys, pretty aggressively. Like if we look at, I mean, all of these, right? Gold ended up flying, right, literally at 2 o'clock. But once Powell opened his mouth, this thing tanked, right? Same thing with Nas, right? We've seen a very bullish reaction off of that. But ever since the news conference and Powell opened his mouth, this thing absolutely tanked, right? Same thing for Euro, same thing for AUD, NZD, so on and so forth, right? Across the board, it's going to be very similar. Right, so yeah, you know, thank Powell, you know, for anybody that might have got whiplashed out, you know, but thank Powell as well if you guys were in these trades and were able to capitalize off of those big moves. I was expecting the drop. I just didn't want my stop loss to get hit, obviously, and yeah, that's what happened, right? So it is what it is, right? But yeah, you know, Powell definitely shook the markets today, guys, once he opened his mouth for sure. Let's see, love the transparency in your spreadsheet. What exactly is the PL? So the PL is profit and loss. Right, profit and loss percentage, right? This is how much I'm losing in percentage-wise based off the actual account balance, right? So all of these is just based off percentage loss or gains. Let's see, Truth Alone Tribes. There's 20 pips. What's going on, 20? Good to see you in the chat. Let's see, Late But Here. What's going on, Jay Save Deals? Appreciate you for tuning in. We got Free Zone in the building. Charleston, what's up? Stand up. I appreciate y'all. We got TJ in the house as well. I see you guys. What's up? Let's see. Got to think in probabilities and trade without fear. When your signal appears, take the trade. Exactly. Nah, I love that. Let's see. Because I was dumb and I impulsively put trades during the slingshot on gold. I mean, that would definitely do it to you. Right? Now, I wouldn't say that you're dumb. I would just say that you're trading. You know, you're still trying to master trading. Because, I mean, we all go through those phases. But now that you are aware of what you did wrong, just don't let it happen again. Right, just don't let it happen again. And the crazy thing is, like, as easy as it sounds, right, we know we did something wrong. We have that awareness. And as easy as it sounds to say, okay, I'm not going to do that again, when the opportunity presents itself, though, are you going to have the discipline to follow through, yes or no? Right, that's the biggest thing here, right? Because we can all have the awareness of what we know we shouldn't be doing. But are you going to have the discipline to stop doing it, right? Because obviously, guys, when the market is moving and we're trying to take some trades and we're trying to make some money, like our emotions go everywhere, right? Our emotions start going everywhere. We start going through fear of taking a trade. We start going through FOMO of missing out on the trade. We start going through excitement for possibilities, right? So we're going through a whole string of emotions, guys, during the process of actually trying to enter a trade, right? So trust me. It's definitely a lot easier said than actually done. But as a professional trader, which is what you guys want to become, You have to have that discipline. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If you don't got the discipline, you might as well find another career to try to go ahead and pursue. Just being honest with y'all. Let's see. I lost my funded account this week. I lost 10%. Yeah, I hate to hear that, man. Now, again, same question I got for you, Anthony. What caused you to lose 10% in 1 week? Like, what are your risk management rules? Like, what is your daily risk rules? Like, how much are you risking per day? How much are you risking per week? Like, all these rules, guys, need to be solidified. Like, again, I talk about my rules all the time. I don't risk more than 2% per trade. And I also don't risk more than 5% per day. But that's my rules. Now, if you're trading a funded account, you have to be very mindful that you only get a certain amount. You only get that 10% buffer on a funded account, right? So you also have to account for that. All right, but make sure you understand what your rules are in terms of risk management and make sure you're following that. And again, it all comes back down to that word discipline. Reason why 99% of traders are not profitable is because 99% of traders don't have the discipline that you truly need to really see results. Is this making sense, family? Drop some threes in the chat if this is making sense. Drop some threes in the chat if this is making sense, right? I see we got the boy Christian in the building. What's going on, Christian? Good to see you in the chat as well. All right, let's see what else we got here. After winning, I lost it just as fast. Yeah, that definitely happens for sure. All right, I caught that gold drop. Let's go, Debbie. Let's see. What if you have a continuation of losses, right? You got a rebound. I mean, look at my spreadsheet. I technically got 4 losses in a row. The thing about when you're going through a losing streak, it's about how your emotions are and how you're reacting and responding. Right? Because when I go through a losing streak, guys, I always reflect on what actually happened during those losses. Did I follow my rules, yes or no? If I didn't follow my rules, then the first thing is to start following your rules. And usually a losing streak usually comes because people stop following their rules. All right, so again, that's the first thing you need to ask yourself. Did I follow my rules on every single trade that I take during this losing streak? And if you did follow your rules and you still got the losing streak, then you need to reevaluate your strategy in total. Like, your strategy is just flawed, right? You need to fix and work on your strategy. But if it's not your strategy, then it's most likely you just not actually following your rules to the T. And if it's that, have that awareness to understand what went wrong, have the discipline to change it. Let's see. I've blown my account a couple times in October, but I know the cause came from me over leveraging and taking impulse trades, not waiting for confirmation. Exactly. Right? Again, having that awareness is crucial, but now glamorous, just don't let it do it again, though. All right? Again, you know exactly what caused those blown accounts. Do not let it. I'm talking to you right now, glamorous. Right? I'm really talking to everybody, right? But since that was your comment, Tony, do not let it happen again. Right? Are you going to be disciplined to not let it happen again? Because if we're being honest, family, right? And this is just talking about in general for everybody now, right? If you have a trading account and you blow that trading account in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if you even blow that account in a month, you're not following your rules. And there's no way that you can tell me that you are. There's just no way. Right? You should not be blowing your account within a couple weeks. Shoot, you shouldn't even be blowing your account in a month. I mean, if we're being realistic, you should never really be blowing your account, especially if you back tested your strategy and you know that your strategy is a profitable strategy. Then you should not be experiencing blown accounts, especially not no blown accounts in a week or two. And I speak from experience, right? Because I was the king of blown accounts. Like, they called me Sir Blow Accounts back in the day, right? Like, it got so bad, guys, when I started trading that I was blowing so many accounts that I expected every single time that I was trading. Like, I kind of like assumed that this account was going to be blown because that's literally what I was used to, right? I probably have more blown accounts than every single. I mean, we got quite a few of you guys in the chat. I'm not even going to lie, right? I wasn't that reckless, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, I've blown a shit ton of accounts. And the reason wasn't because I didn't understand my strategy. The reason wasn't because I wasn't, understanding what the market was about to do. The reason was because I was undisciplined, right? I had a lack of discipline. I was always over leveraging. I mean, even to this day, there'd be times where I feel like, I want to go ahead and, I want to bet the house on this trade. But it comes back down to having that self-discipline and that self-accountability. You got to be able to have it. That's crucial. All right, but let's see. I caught that EU sell by remembering you say put your entry at other stop loss, right? That's a bar right there. Let's see. I was bearish for the dollar, and it's been nonstop bullish for the week. Yeah, it really has. Right, it really has. But even that, though, even that should not have caused a blown account. Right? That should have caused some losses. Right? You could have probably lost maybe at the most, again, depending on what your rules are. Matter of fact, I want you to answer this, Anthony. What are your rules? Right? What is your risk per trade? Like, how much are you risking per trade? And let's be honest, right? Be honest with me. What is your risk per trade? And how much is your max risk per day? Because if you guys actually know what those numbers are, and you're actually following those numbers, then a blown account shouldn't even be in the conversation. Like, it shouldn't. Especially not in a week. Right? So the first thing you have to do is figure out what those numbers are. I just told you guys what mine was. Right? I just told you guys what mine was. Right? 2% per trade max, 5% per trade, or 5% overall exposure as a whole, or 5% overall throughout the day. And I'm very strict with that because I know that my struggle in the earlier days was having that lack of discipline, not being strict with it. So now today, I don't play around when it comes to risk management now, right? Because again, I got to pay bills, right? I got real bills to pay. Right? I got real families that are expecting me to, come through, right? So I can't play around with this. This is not a game to me, right? This is real life. And if you guys want to treat it the same way, then yeah, you guys have to really up your discipline for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Cut one finger off every bad trade. That's a good. I mean, that's a great way of looking at it, right? Imagine that, right? Every bad trade you took, you had to cut off a finger. I promise y'all would never be taking no damn bad trades. All right, so I still think we're bullish the dollar. Yeah, we're going to get into that for sure, Anthony, right? Because like I said, I do want to go into that for sure. Let's see. A nugget that was dropped in one of Abel's videos in the bootcamp. The markets will repeat the same lesson until you learn from it. That is a fact. That is a fact. All right, let's see. Damn, I'm late. Sorry. What's going on, Tony? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. I appreciate you. All right, let's see what else we got here. Almost hit my daily funded account loss max, but I exited out of an over leveraged trade because it hurt more not to trade than to stop trading for the day. I made half of it back. Let's go. See, Zaid, that's how you do it, right? You realize that you were kind of over leveraged, and you're like, man, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Let me just accept this loss because I'd rather accept this loss right now than actually allowing the trade to go to stop loss and I really do damage to my account, right? So that's big. Shout out to you, Zayed. That's a win in my book, right? I'll take that win all day long. All right, so let's see. 0.5% per trade, 3% loss per day. So, I mean, again, Anthony, I love you, dog. I appreciate you for tuning in, but now we gotta unpack this, right? Because you said that you blew your account this week in 1 week. But yet your plan is to lose 3% per day. Like, we got to make it make sense, family. Right? And again, it's not just specifically to you. This is literally for a lesson for everybody, right? If your goal, let's just say, is 3% max per day, then at the most you should be down around 9%. Which again, I get it now that I think about it, because you are on a funded account, all right? So it does make sense. And this is the thing with the funded accounts, guys, right? This is a nugget with the funded accounts, right? Because again, the funded accounts, they only give you that 10% buffer. So if you have a $100,000 account, right, you can realistically only lose not that much, right? You only get that buffer, right? A 10 to 12% buffer depending on which one you're on, right? So if you have a $100,000 account, the moment you lose 10% of that, you're done. So instead of doing your risk management based off the actual balance on the account, do your risk management based off the actual max risk that they give you. This is crucial. Okay? And you might have been doing that. All right? Shout out to you, Anthony. I appreciate you for really participating too as well, my brother. I appreciate that a lot, man. Right? But again, if for anybody that's using prop firms, do not do your risk management based off the actual balance that you get. Do your risk management based off the max loss that they give you, which is 10% for FTMO, 12% for my Forex funds. If you do your risk management off of the max, see, now you're actually going to be able to really, really look at the markets the correct way and actually trade in a way that can at least give you a better chance of seeing some results. Right? So, yeah, that's just a little nugget when it comes to those funded accounts for sure. Let's see. Getting good off GJ for the last few days. Let's go. I love it. I love to see people winning, man. I really do. Let's see. I personally just started trading live again last week. I took a year or two just to back test and learn. Go for you, Abel, guided me to this point. Let's go 20 pip. I know you're going to be an absolute savage for sure. Like an absolute savage, just like your name. Let's see. Do you still do crypto? Of course we do crypto, right? Crypto is definitely the retirement plan, right? The long-term, like the crypto, if I'm being honest, guys, like just a little sidebar, but like crypto is really what's going to, in my opinion, really make me a 9-figure earner. Right, that's how I'm so optimistic to the crypto space that's really what's gonna get me my first $100 million. Like I'm saying that right now live with you guys, right? So when you guys check Forbes in the next 10 years, and you guys see my net worth is above 100 million, just know crypto is definitely gonna be playing a big part in that. But you just gotta understand how to play crypto, right? Crypto is based off cycles. Every 4 years the cycles repeat themselves every single time. And when you understand how to play it, you'll be able to position yourself for sure. 100% for sure. All right, so let's see what else we got here. I need that spreadsheet for this account. Not going to lie, got me looking at things totally different. Let's go, Devin. Big shout out to Devin, by the way, guys. Can we go ahead and just give a big congratulations to my brother Devin? He actually passed both phases of his funded account. So now he is officially a 6-figure funded trader, now having access to $100,000. All right, so big shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you so much, bro. I literally seen your entire journey, right? Literally since day one, since the moment you decided to lock arms with me and my team. We seen the progression, we seen the growth, bro, over the past 2 years. It has been absolutely amazing to see, bro. And I can't wait to go back to Michigan, so we could really go ahead and turn up in Michigan for sure. If you're still out there in Michigan, I'm not sure if you're in Michigan or if you're in Ohio or wherever the hell you be going, right? But wherever you're going, Devin, we gonna link up, bro. And we gonna celebrate for sure, 'cause that's massive. Let's see. If you can't protect your capital like your life depends on it, you won't last long in the game. You be greedy, picky on what setup you go for, quality over quantity. Exactly, Eric. I love that. Let's see. Man, I miss watching you, and I am happy to find you again. What's going on, Shannon? Good to see you in the chat as well. I am here. I'm back. I've been, ever since I left I took my talents to YouTube. All right, so we've been live here now pretty much since March. I think I started doing these live streams again. Right, so yeah, it feels good to be back though. I actually enjoy doing these live streams on YouTube more than I actually enjoyed doing them on IM, right? In IM, just because during IM days, we were monitored on what we could and could say and what we could and couldn't do, right? So there was a lot of restrictions that we had on us, which didn't really allow us to teach the things that we truly wanted, right? So now that I'm here on YouTube, there ain't no restriction. Ain't nobody could tell me a damn thing besides maybe the owner of YouTube, right? So it's pretty dope, and I'm glad that I'm here with y'all for sure. Let's see. Where can I start to get started on building my crypto for holding a ledger? That's a good question. Right now, we are actually planning on doing, guys. Right, I'm not sure when we're gonna do it. Probably closer to the. Honestly, if I'm being honest, either in December or maybe even at the beginning of next year. Probably the beginning of next year. Me and my brother Skaggs, we're actually gonna be doing an in-depth crypto bootcamp for everybody that's serious, because next year, 2023, is the year of accumulation. Right, 2023 is the year of accumulation for cryptos, right? So the entire year of 2023, I am going to be buying weekly, religiously, right? I've been doing that for a while now, guys, where I've been buying. I haven't bought this year, right? Because I was expecting the bear market. But now that we're about to get back into this bull run again for cryptos in the next year and a half or two, it's time to accumulate, right? It's time to accumulate for sure. Right, but like I said, we're actually going to be doing that boot camp. A lot more details will come out, very soon. Once we actually launch the Profit Society, guys, like officially launched, then we're going to start working on a lot of different boot camps, and crypto is definitely going to be one of them, because you guys got to get rich with us. I know we're making 9 figures off of cryptos, maybe even $1 billion, so I want you guys to be a part of that for sure. But just to keep it simple, if you guys do want to go ahead and start researching yourself, just go right to this website, coinmarketcap.com. This website right here, guys, is going to give you pretty much like the yellow pages of crypto. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already are familiar with this. But yeah, this is really where you want to go to start actually doing a lot of your research on what the crypto market is doing. And then, take advantage of it if you want to. The best bet and the safest bet, if you're thinking long term, if you want to start buying now, I mean, just stick with a lot of the majors, right? Stick with a lot of the layer ones projects. You know, a lot of the main blockchain projects like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, like a BNB is a really good one, right? Like Cardano, Solana, like Polygon, like all of these are very good and they're very, very cheap right now. Like they're stupid discounted right now. Like Polkadot is one of my favorites, right? I'm a heavy investor into Polkadot and I will continue to invest into Polkadot, right? So, you know, just like a lot of these layer ones that are actual blockchains, right? Layer one is an actual blockchain that other dApps or, you know, decentralized apps will be built on top of. Those are the ones that are going to be the safest plays for sure, you know, because there's already other projects being built up on top of these main projects. So that's what I recommend to you guys. Stick with layer ones for now if you guys do want to invest into anything right now. But 2023, I'm investing into a whole bunch, right? And obviously, I'll be live on YouTube for a lot of this stuff as well with you guys. So you guys will be able to track all that. All right, so what do we think now, guys, right? And I want to continue to answer the question, but I want to go ahead and get into what I think is going to happen next. Because we did just see a very, very interesting reaction in these markets. Now, there's a few different things, guys, that we have to just keep in mind in terms of how these markets can, you know, finish out the year. We have to keep in mind midterm elections. I mean, pretty much just in a few days, not that far away, right? Maybe a week away, right? Midterm elections could easily, just because we have midterm elections, guys, like that in itself could be a reason why we actually see these indices end up closing back bullish, right, for the week, because we do have, again, midterm elections. I don't think Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden really doesn't have full control of these markets, he can make some calls that can influence some shifts in these markets, right? But again, Joe Biden does not want to go into midterms, guys, with the stock market looking like this, right? He just doesn't. I mean, that's not a good sign for anybody that's going into midterm elections, right? Where the markets is collapsing, the markets is down. That's not going to really give the voters any type of confidence and want to vote in them back. All right, so that's just something to keep in mind. That's something we've been talking about all week. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a chance for us to actually go ahead and correct a lot of this data that we just experienced today. So that's just something to keep in mind for sure. But I'm definitely a little torn right now, all right, as to what, in terms of sentiment, in terms of what I think is going to happen. Because I get the argument from the midterm side, the midterm election side. I get the argument from us going into the holiday season and all that good stuff. But then we come back to what Jerome Powell said today during the press conference, and he pretty much just told us that they're going to be continuing to raise rates no matter what. Like, no matter what. So I'm really like, and again, this is why I have these pauses. I'm trying to think about like, yo, what really could happen next. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, family. Like, I understand fundamentals at a very high level, but right now there's so much mixed data. Right, there's so many things that could happen, right, that is making so hard to really try to figure out what the hell it can happen next, especially from a trader's perspective like us, right, where our accuracy has to be through there. Like, we have to have some good accuracy since we're trading on margin. It's not like we're investing into these things, right, where you could just sit in that drawdown and hope for no, right? Like, we can't just sit in drawdown, all right, because then we're going to blow the entire account. So it's definitely a lot harder right now, right, to really try to figure out exactly what these markets can and probably will do throughout the rest of the year, right? So I'm going to be a lot more cautious because of that. I'm literally telling you guys right now in real time, like, yeah, like just there's a lot of shit happening right now, right? A lot of data coming out, a lot of mixed data, a lot of mixed sentiment that is making it a lot harder to really figure out what the hell's going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing did rebounding just for that midterm elections at end of the year rally. But I also would not be surprised if what we've been talking about the entire year does continue to come through. Now, I want to ask you guys this, right? Because I truly do. I love your guys' opinions, right? Like, I respect your guys' opinions, right? So for those of you guys that actually have some type of knowledge in this, in fundamentals and what's really happening in the space, what are your guys' thoughts? Like, I'm genuinely interested to see what your guys' thoughts of the market are. And what you guys think can actually really happen, right? In terms of the overall sentiment in the market, in terms of what indices can do, in terms of what the dollar can do, in terms of what are your guys' thoughts and opinions? Because I'm going to be honest, for me, I'm a little torn. Like, I'm really a little torn. And Jerome Powell today didn't help out with anything at all, right? All he was doing was dodging questions left and right during the press conference, right? But he did say some powerful points as well that could keep us in the same sentiment, right? So I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and answer that if you guys don't mind. I know a few of you guys that probably will, but that's just something that, again, I'm really just gonna let the markets guys play out probably the rest of the week and really see what can happen, right? Because again, I'm a little torn right now. But let's go ahead and see what else we got here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and catch up with these comments. Do you have a mentorship for Forex and crypto? Yes, we do. 100% we do. All right, 100% we do. Let's see. Second, Akela, do you have a group? So I'll send you guys. I mean, my Telegram has been being sent in the chats pretty consistently. Let me go ahead and actually bring this up. Yeah, so you guys can definitely go ahead and just participate in the Telegrams for now. Anybody in the chat, if you guys don't mind, somebody in the chat, if you don't mind, if you could do me a favor, can you drop the Profit Society Telegram in the chat and also drop my Abel's Outer Circle Telegram in the chat so I don't got to waste time to try to get that. If one of you guys can do that in the chat, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all, and I owe you guys one. All right, but definitely go ahead and send that in the chat for everybody that's in the family that wants to be a part of at least the Telegrams for right now. Let's see. No excuse why nobody haven't made consistent profit in these times. Plus, Abel giving you guys the fundamentals. Another green light, 100%. 100%. Let's see. Can't wait for this crypto boot camp because I'm trying to invest into. Oh, yeah, it's going to be next level for sure. How can I transfer or copy your spreadsheet to mine? Very simple. The yellow line, right? If you want to take anybody's spreadsheet, go. I mean, for the most part, some of these will allow you to actually do this. Go to File, click on Make a Copy. Right, I'll actually do it real quick so you guys can see it. And then once you make a copy, you get your own copy, right? So now you can actually edit. Then all you got to do is come right here. Just go ahead and delete all this, right? Change this to white. And now look, you have a fresh, clean chart that you guys can go ahead and do whatever you guys want with it, right? So that's all you got to do. Just go up to the file, click on Make a Copy, and you'll have your own copy of it. Let's see what else we got here. Which EMAs are you using? So I only have one EMA on there, and that's the 50-period EMA. But you would recommend a ledger, right? Where can we? 100%, 100%, 1,000%. All right, I actually got. They're somewhere over here, right? But I actually got 3 different ledgers that I have my main holdings on, right? Yeah, 100%. You want to put on a ledger, offline, cold wallet type of thing. For one, so that you're protecting yourself from hackers, and for 2, because. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to hold your investments, guys, when it's on a ledger too, right? Because if you keep your actual crypto inside like one of these exchanges, for one, that's dangerous. For 2, if some situation comes up where you need money, it's going to be a lot easier for you to go ahead and liquidate those assets or those cryptos if it's literally on a website that you have access to right away. But at least if it's on a ledger, it makes it a little bit harder. It's not too hard, but it makes it a little bit harder for you to access it, right? So I definitely recommend that for sure. Let's see, what happens to me a lot is I'll mark up my chart, execute my trade, my stop loss will get hit, and then the trade will then go into the trend, the sentiment after I've been stopped out. I mean, yeah, that literally happened to me right today on gold. All right, same thing happened to me. You know, we had our sell. You know, it was a really good idea, clearly. Right, we had our sell up here. Stop was above this high. We got completely stopped out, and that thing completely shifted and dropped. Right, so it is what it is. It's just one of those situations that you got to just adjust and figure out if your stop loss is in the right spot. Right, because if you're constantly, and this is something that's very important, guys, right? This is a nugget, by the way. If you are constantly getting into trades and you're constantly getting stopped out, you need to really start thinking outside the box, right? Because you're probably just, you know, falling into that retail trap that most traders are doing, right? Where they're not understanding where liquidity is. And if you don't understand where the liquidity is, then guess what you are? You are going to be the liquidity for a lot of these big boys to exit the market. All right, so that's a rule of thumb, guys. If you do not know where the liquidity is in the market, you are probably going to be the liquidity. That's a bar. That's a bar. That is crazy. That's a bar. I just literally just thought of that right now, but that's a bar. All right, so let's see what else we got here. I got till next Wednesday to pass my 10K. Let's go, Arturo. I got faith in you, brother. Let's go. It's done. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Something has to break for them to stop. In my opinion, I don't see CPI data supporting Fed's pivoting. Yep, I agree with that. We need Jerome Powell to give us that clear data. And this is the thing with Jerome Powell, guys, right? Like, again, he can't just blatantly come out and say certain things that we want to hear, right? Because you got to understand, like, the power that Jerome Powell has is absolutely insane. right? He has the ability to speak a couple words and shake these markets, just like what we've seen today, right? Jerome Powell literally said a couple words, right, and this thing collapsed 300 pips, right? So he's also, you know, media trained, right? He understands this stuff, right? He understands that he has a lot of power. So he's never going to give a direct answer. He's always going to beat around the bush. He's always going to give subtle clues as to what can happen. And it's our job as traders to try to decipher what those clues are and what his sentiment is, right? But he can't just come out like that, because it's going to really, I mean, he's going to collapse the market if he comes out direct and answers questions directly, right? So he can't do that. You know, he got to protect the markets too. All right, but let's see. I agree. We're approaching the end of the year. I'm looking for the dollar to stay bull to the daily wick at the 114. Let's go ahead and look at the dollar. Okay, the 114 all the way up here. Yeah, you know, that's a good area. Let's see. Big drop on indices. I think Powell made it pretty clear in his intention. Inflation back to 2%, 100%. They willing to do more hikes regardless what happened. Which EMA are you using? It's a 50-period EMA. Let's see. I think a lot of people will be looking at the next two CPI and jobs report to predict that the Fed will hike past the 4.5%. I agree. Might increase. Telegram links. Let's see. Indices have been rallying for a few weeks now, so I see them dropping based on the news for the next week or two before beginning the holiday rally. Just my opinion. I like that. That's actually a very good opinion, Jerome. It really is. All right, let's see. Bars. Sheesh. You the liquidity. Yeah, that's a bar. Let's see. Really, though, I think the Fed is going to say slow down, then the markets react positive, then the Fed drops the hammer. Very possible. Let's see. He didn't want to overshake the market. Clearly shows by his answers, but I understood what he was saying. Watched it 3 times. Yeah. Yo, I actually dropped a video, guys, as well in my Telegram, right, from Mr. Meet Kevin, right? Probably one of my favorite YouTubers, just because he really goes in depth with really understanding what the hell's happening, right? So if you guys have not watched that just yet, then I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and check out this video right here. I'm actually going to bring it up. I'm actually going to drop it in the link as well. And really just figure out exactly what the sentiment is, right? Because this guy, Meet Kevin, is an absolute savage and truly understands exactly what the market is doing, right? So I recommend you guys to go ahead and watch that video I just dropped in the chat. And it'll give you guys some clarity as to what was actually said during today's press conference, right? And he really breaks it down at a high level. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Because the market reacts to positive and the Fed has no choice. I'm keeping my eye on unemployment. Yeah, me too. So this is my thoughts and opinions on this now, guys, based off the data. All right, because there's no wrong answer to this, by the way. All right, because like we don't know, right? I mean, you got to think about it. There's analysts out there, guys, that are getting paid millions of dollars to try to predict what's going to happen, and even they're constantly wrong, right? Like if we're being honest, like looking at, you know, a lot of the data that we see here, like these are analysts, guys, that are paid big bucks to actually come up with these predictions and these forecasts. We haven't really seen a lot, especially with CPI. We haven't seen CPI come out as forecasted at all in the entire year, right? So if we're talking about us, you know, getting it wrong, it's nothing to be upset about, right? When we got analysts that are getting paid millions of dollars that are also getting it wrong, right? So it's not an easy thing, guys, to really try to predict these markets, but it will give you guys a better opportunity in these markets if you actually did. But what I think is going to happen, there's a few things that Jerome Powell said that really stood out to me personally. And this is the reason why, again, I'm so on edge to figure out what is really going to happen. Right, because the main thing that Jerome Powell said is that, again, their goal is inflation at 2%. He said that numerous times during the press conference. He also said, right, that, yeah, they probably are going to start to lower their, lower by how much they increase rates, right? So a 50 basis point rate hike in December, I'm pretty positive that's going to happen, right? So they're going from 75 to 50 in December, which is cool, right? Now, this is the interesting part about it. Even though we are starting to slow down the pace of interest rate hikes, we're still hiking. Right? I've been telling you guys this for a while now too, guys, right? As long as the Fed's plan is to hike these markets, which is exactly what they're doing, and they clearly said today that they will continue to hike rates as long as they are way above that 2% level, right? So I don't think by how much they're hiking is really going to change course from what we actually are truly doing here. Right? So even though, yeah, we can see a lower rate hike of 50 basis point, I don't think that's going to change anything in my opinion. Right? As long as we are still raising rates, whether it's 50, whether it's even 25, we're still raising rates. So as long as we're raising rates, we definitely should continue to stick with the overall bias, which is what, I mean, guys, how long have we been saying that? We've been saying that since I've been personally saying that since last year, that we were going to start to see the dollar go crazy, right? And I'm pretty sure some of you guys that were watching me on IM, you guys can agree with it. You guys can literally just confirm that. I've been saying that this year was going to be the year of the dollar for the longest. And it's literally just because of everything that we understand. And I'm still saying this now. As long as their intentions are to raise rates, then we have to expect the markets to continue to move the same way that they've been moving. That's my opinion. All right, that's my opinion. They are continuously planning to raise rates. Right now we're at 4%, right? They're planning, again, based off their projections, they want inflation to end at around 4.6%, right? 4.4 to 4.6. So I think 50 basis points is what's going to happen in December, okay? And then going into the new year, depending on how CPI comes out, they'll either keep it at 50 basis points for however long they need it to, or they might lower it to 25, but then they're probably going to keep it there until we get all the way back down to that 2%. Okay? So that's my opinion. And like I said, it's definitely a mixed. It's not a mixed answer because it's very direct on what I want to see. There's really not no change, right? We've been saying the same thing this entire year. I mean, ever since I started going live with y'all, we've been saying the same exact tune, guys. I don't know how many times I told you guys this, right? And although there could be some short-term shifts in sentiment, I don't think the overall sentiment is going to change me personally, right? And the reason why I'm so confident in that now is just, looking at the reaction that we've seen in this market, right? Like, we ended up closing bullish, right, at the end of the day, right? We ended up closing bullish. And that just tells me that, yeah, the fact that Jerome Powell said that they will continue raising rates no matter what, right? Even if they lower by how much they're raising, they're still going to continue to raise the rate. Like, the market reacted very bullish for the dollar after that. So I think that we could very much see some continuations, in my opinion. Now, again, this also comes into that argument again, which is why I'm so torn. All right, because everything that I'm saying is leaning toward a bullish dollar. But if the end of the year rally truly is a thing, right? If midterm elections truly is a thing that could influence these markets, then we should see the stock market fly, which is going against with what I truly believe is going to happen. So I hope you guys can see, like, there's a conflict of interest right now, guys, at least for me, on what I truly want to see. I'm still very much the same way. I'm still very much hawkish, just like the Fed, right? I'm still very much risk off, right? Risk off sentiment all day long. But because of these other factors is why I'm a little bit more cautious as to what the hell I want to do. Okay? So that's my little spiel on that. It's definitely some very interesting times overall. I'm excited to see exactly what we do continuously going throughout the rest of the year. I'm gonna have to go against even what a few of my partners are saying, and I might have to stick risk off for the end of the year. Like, I get the end of the year rally. Like, I understand all that stuff, trust me, which is why I'm so confused. I get midterms, I get all that. But I also understand the power of risk off sentiment. I understand exactly what interest rates are going to do to these asset prices, to these currency prices. Like, I understand all of these things, right? So I'm going back to my initial bias, my traditional bias, right, which is going to be trading risk off sentiment. Dollar bullish, bearish indices, bearish crypto, bearish euro, bearish everything, bullish the dollar once again. Okay? I just have to stick with that. That has literally, this is probably my best trading year, definitely by far. And it's because we've been trading with that sentiment. It's been so easy to predict what the market was going to. This was the easiest year of my life when it came to trading. It was the easiest year because we knew exactly what the hell was going to happen. I'm not changing that. I'm sticking with that, right? And I'm going to ride with that to the very end until we actually see the Fed become dovish, until we see the Fed finally start to lower rates, or not just lower rates, right? The moment we see the Fed guys say, you know what, we're not going to raise rates at all no more, that's when we really got, like, That's when the real shift is going to happen. Right? Once they finally say we're going to stop raising rates, once those words come out of Jerome Powell's mouth, we're going to see an ultimate shift in these markets. Tremendous shift in these markets to where the indices are going to start flying again. Crypto is going to start flying again. The dollar is going to be tanking. All right. So, just be aware of this stuff, guys, overall. Once you understand that, it could definitely give you guys a much better position in these markets for sure. Let's see. That's where technical analysis plays a part. No, because either way we can play our strength. Yeah, 100%, 20. Yeah, definitely. Right. That's why technical is key. Right. Because even though we do have some conflicting data, that doesn't mean that we can't catch no intraday moves. All right. That doesn't mean that at all. Right. We can still catch some intraday setups overall for sure. Right. 100% for sure. Right. But I just like to give you guys the overall macro perspective. Right. I like to give you guys the macro landscape of what's really happening so that you guys are not confused when certain stuff actually does come up, right? You guys know me. I'm all about the macro, right? I like to look at the bigger picture, and I like to trade based off the bigger picture data. Let's see. Would you say gold is good for a sell? Gold is good for a sell. I mean, it definitely is possible. We still have this initial area, guys. Like, if you guys remember yesterday's stream, I told you guys, for one, that we wanted to sell from up here, which is exactly what happened. But I told you guys I wanted to see price come down to here, right? Go ahead and close this inbound. So, yeah, I do think we're going to stay bearish for gold. But I don't want to sell from right here. Right? I don't want to sell from right there. I mean, let's go ahead and bring up our volume profile tool real quick, right? See if there's any crazy, crazy volume in this level that could possibly call for the short. Maybe right here. But even then, yeah, I'm not, like, I have no interest, like literally zero interest in trying to short gold all the way down here. It just doesn't make sense for me. All right, it just doesn't, right? Because, I mean, look at this big old move that we just seen, right? If I want to sell gold, I would need to see some type of a deeper pullback, right? Maybe back up into these levels right up here, all right? If we can get back up into there, then yeah, then I'll be very interested in going ahead and seeing that play out, right? But from down here, it's just a little bit too risky for me, and that's not something that I would personally like to play. Let's see. So far, I'm up 25 pips. Go ahead. Ride it out as long as you can for sure. But for me, I'm good on it. All right, let's see what else we got here. GJ had a nice area for long. Let's go take a look at yen, GJ. GJ broke my heart a couple times today as well. It really did. But, yeah, I think GJ is definitely going to be setting up, guys, for a nice long opportunity very, very soon. In fact, I mean, it really could be very, very soon. I think this area is a very, very interesting level that the market really could, we could really rebound from right here, really where we're at right now. Like, this market realistically could, really just rebound and start flying from right there, right? Because I'm definitely bullish GJ, just like I'm bullish a lot of these other yen pairs. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if by the morning time, this thing is actually trading a lot higher. All right, so, yeah, not bad looking play here for GJ. Not a bad looking play. Let's see what we got here. USD CAD. Let's go take a look at USD CAD. All right, so now that we've seen this bullish play here, guys, I mean, very simple. The obvious opportunity is probably going to just be to start going ahead and targeting these highs up here. All right, the obvious opportunity is going to be probably targeting these highs. What's going on, Mama? She's all right. What's up? What? I'm trying to work. Can I work? Can I work? Like the people want me to work. Can I work? This is why I can't work, family. Look at this. Are you gonna trade for me or not? Because if you're not gonna trade for me, you gotta get up out of here. All right. So, UCAD, like I said, now at this point, we're probably going to end up targeting this high. We're probably going to target this high. We'll probably target this high as well, right? There's probably just a lot of liquidity built up above those levels. So, if we could see a pullback back down, probably right back into this wick somewhere, we could possibly go ahead and look for those continuations for sure, all right? We could possibly go ahead and look for those continuations for sure, right, for UCAD. And if for whatever reason this thing just completely erases, then, yeah, we're going to keep on selling, right? But I don't think that's going to happen just based off I mean, it is possible. The market's going to do what it wants to do, guys, at the end of the day. But, yeah, I would be looking for some longs around these levels down here for UCAD. GU, and I'm gonna do this a lot quicker, guys, too, just because again, I really wasn't trying to be on here for too long, because as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to take a damn nap. I'm tired. I've been freaking on calls all day. Not even with you guys, right? But I had a bunch of freaking meetings today too, so I've been on calls all day, and I need to get some rest for sure, right? But let's see what we got here for GU. GU is interesting. So we had this set up on GU, guys, up here for a while now. I think we said this like last week we were looking at this play. And, I mean, it still looks pretty good. I was initially looking for the sell up here. And, I mean, if the market rebounds, there's still a good chance for that to happen. But, you know, I don't know if we are going to actually go all the way back up to those levels. So what I'll be looking for GU personally, guys, same concept as everything else. You know, if we can get some type of a pullback into these markets, then I'll definitely be looking for some continuation to the downside. Now, where could we look for some pullbacks at? Well, let's go ahead and bring up our points of control. All right, using the volume profile tool. Volume profile, guys, is pretty much like these sideways volume bars. It just helps us identify, guys, where most of the volume was at. All right, so if we look at these right here, we have this red line right here. We have this one right here. Right, so in this range right here that I just highlighted, guys, like clearly there was a lot of volume in this level right here. All right, like a lot of volume, right? So if we're looking for some continuation shorts, then I think it would make sense for us to go ahead and wait for price to get back up into here. Right, because if we're trying to really identify where smart money is, right, if we want to align ourselves with smart money, I mean, smart money is playing where all the volume is, right? I mean, smart money is what created all this built-up volume. We don't create that volume. Smart money does, right? So, yeah, you know, I would want to see price pull back into this range around this 1.15 level. And then from there, I'll definitely like to go ahead and look for some continuations to the downside for GU. All right, so that's what I'll look for GU. Let's take a quick look at GCAD as well. All right, so GCAD, guys, is the one that we've been, we spoke about this, I believe, last week, if not 2 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly what the day was. But this thing is doing exactly what we expected it to. Last time we spoke about it, guys, you know, I was looking for the short, right? And I told you guys that there's a very good chance, a very good possibility that this thing could give us 1,000 pips, right? 1,000 plus pips to the downside, right? Again, I know some of you guys remember saying this. I believe Eric is the one who really told me to even analyze it, right? So big shout out to you, Eric. But yeah, you know, I think we still continue going bearish, right? I'm still very much bearish, guys, GCAD. So I'll just continue to look for some continuations. Let's see. Yeah, I'll look for some continuations, right? So whether it be continuation off of this little inside of this range that we're at here is very possible. Or what I would like to see, you know, I would like to see actually a deeper pullback, right? Maybe come close this wick up here. And then above here around this 1.57, then we could possibly look for those continuations as well for GCAD. But I'm still bearish GCAD. I really do think that we can get 1,000 pips on this trade. All right, I think it's very possible to get 1,000 pips, guys, right? Like, think about that, 1,000 pips. That would be absolute crazy, right? But I think it's very, very possible to do so, right? So that's just my bias. But, yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. Let's see. Shout out to all of our newest subscribers as well, by the way, right? I got to start showing you guys a lot more love, man, because that's something that I've been not doing, right? And shame on me, right? I appreciate every single one of y'all, right? Especially all y'all that's subscribing. You guys do mean a lot to me, whether I know you personally or not, you know, because you guys are supporting the channel, and anybody that supports the channel supports me. I want to make sure I support you guys right back with some love and some value, right? So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for following and subscribing, and hopefully I continue to give you massive value. All right, let's see what we got here. Abel, is it safe to say that wick on USD Swiss will fill before it continues? USD Swiss. Let's go ahead and bring up USD Swiss. I mean, it is possible, right? You know, I know a few of my partners, you know, they love these wick fills, right? Like, they love looking for the wick to fill and then looking for that move. And it's very possible, right? Imagine something like this, right? We come down, we break that wick, we fill it, and then we go ahead and we start going bullish. That is actually very possible, and it happens a lot often than most people think. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did that, but I don't, and I could be wrong, but I don't think we will get down there, right? Let me actually go ahead and bring up my volume tool, see where most of the volume is at, actually. Yeah, so I'm looking at this point of control right here, right? Like right when the wick starts, right? If we can see price come back down to this level, you know, then I think we could really go ahead and see some higher pricing right here. All right, and that's just my opinion, of course, right? Everything that I say is opinion-based. Nothing is, I mean, I'm not going to say nothing is fact, right? Because we do talk a lot of facts here, but any type of analysis that I do, guys, is all opinion-based. Just keep that in mind, all right? So take it with a grain of salt. Don't over leverage. The whole point I'm saying is just don't over leverage on none of this stuff, guys. Like I'm human. You know, I take losses. I'm not 100% accurate. I'm not 90% accurate. I'm not 80% accurate. All right. So, you know, don't try to take a trade that I take, trying to hit that home run, and then it ends up blowing your account. And now you're upset at me because you over leveraged, right? You know, so just don't do it. But yeah, so that's where we're at for USD Swiss. All right, so let's see. Inu, big shout out to our newest subscribers. I appreciate you. What's going on? Big shout out to you for subscribing. Do you keep alerts on all of these, right? So on the ones that I'm personally going to take, I usually do have alerts if I'm not going to be monitoring that specific trade, right? Because that's like the one downfall, guys, of being a quote-unquote teacher, right? Is that we get so many different recommendations, so many different trades that we want, that people want us to analyze, that we do miss out on a lot of our own setups, right? So because of that, I put alerts on my setups, the ones that I really am focused on, so that I at least get alerted when they do come up, for sure. All right, so we're going to take a look at NZD/USD as well. Let's see what we got here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up with this. So very simple. Again, I think that we could realistically go back bearish for NZD/USD. So a pull back up, guys, can lead to a continuation lower. Where can we pull back up to? Well, we obviously have all this structure right here. We have this structure right here as well, right? But I want to see is I want to bring up my tool again so I can identify where most of the bulk of the volume is at. Now, this one is interesting, right? Bulk of the volume is probably right here, you can say, right? At this point of control, this red line. But for me, I don't like that sell because it's not a deep enough pullback for me, right? This is me. If I were to try to sell from right here, that would be me trying to sell while we're already in discounted price points. I don't want to sell anything, right, at a discount. I want to make sure if I'm looking for sells, I want to try to get in at a premium price. Right, so I'm not interested in down here, although price could very well fall off there because that's usually where, that's literally where most of the volume has been at. But that's not where I would like to take. If I'm looking at NZD/USD, I'll probably come up to this one up here. Right, I'll come up to this one right here and probably take a trade from around these areas up there. Right, so that's me. I'm interested at that 0.58 level, 0.587 level here for NZD/USD if I was to take it. Right, but besides that, though, family, she's like, you said only 30 minutes. Let's go, right? That's probably what she was saying, too, right? But besides that, family, I do appreciate you guys. We will be live again tomorrow morning on Zoom. Our website is still technically down. We're doing a lot of updates. Like we did, let me actually just check real quick, right? I want to make sure, right? Because we just did a lot of updates, guys, to the back end, right? So that we can go ahead and stop having these issues with the servers. Yeah, we still, like, we had to update everything from the DNS to the SSL, right? We had to upgrade the servers, and we had to do an entire big upgrade, guys, so we do not have to continue to experience these little drawdowns, these little drawbacks. So, yeah, we'll get it up and running, though, officially soon, and we'll be back on the platform very shortly. But in the meantime, be inside of the Telegram, right? Be a part of the Instagram or the Telegram, guys, for the Profit Society. And we do give you guys updates as to where we're going live, right? So tomorrow we will be live again on Zoom tomorrow morning for New York session. So I look forward to seeing all you guys there tomorrow morning, right? But without further ado, family, I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much for rocking with me and following me today. It has been a very interesting day in the markets for damn sure, right? And I'm interested to see exactly how the week ends up finishing out, right? But we will be back live tomorrow. I look forward to being live with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys all there for sure. Right, so I love you guys. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning. All right, y'all have a great rest of your guys' night. Let's get it.